Hey guys, it's Alert here, back in with another review. And today we're taking a look at the NECA toys at Spyro the Dragon figure. Now, before I get into the review, it's obviously been a long ass freaking time since I've done a review, so I'm gonna make this quick. I will leave a timestamp or a time in the description when the actual review starts, but I'm gonna babble on a little bit, hopefully for a minute or two. But yes, long story short, I'm not dead. Hear us! I've been pretty low key when it comes to posting anywhere. I've mostly been in messages and comments and liking videos and posts and whatnot, and that's not just on here, but that's everywhere. Mostly because I was going through a bit of a rut, I'll say. Let's just say a few things happened at the wrong time and kind of slowed me down, and then of course my mind being the type that doesn't really let things go 100%, they would come back to me and all that fun stuff. I wouldn't say I was wallowing in depression or self-pity, but let's just say I've been better. But the one thing I'm going to get right out the freaking way here is I was, for all extensive purposes, kicked out of Collector's Dungeon. And I know this has been addressed before, but to be perfectly honest with you, there's no sense of starting any kind of arguments or having any kind of beef with anybody, because it's not going to solve jack shit. That's just how it is. Hopefully it's for the better. I'm guessing it's going to be for the better. Those guys have done some cool things since my removal, and you know what? Kudos. So, no bad blood. There's really no point. I've also been trying to get into a quasi-relationship with a female. That hasn't been very easy. I've tried a few times online and it just didn't. It sucked all 4 times. Reasons being are for me to know and you to never find out, because past is the past. There's no sense of dwelling on it. And then there's just dealing with people. I gotta be honest with you, I'm just getting sick of doing that. I'm not a guidance counselor. I am a ball up and get over it counselor. But that's that. That's for the most part the update. I've also been debating on what the heck I'm going to do with the channel. Marvel Legends, no more Wave reviews. That Wave did jack crap for the channel, so I'm still going to review a couple of figures here and there, but I'm not going to review them all like I would normally do. I also plan on branching out and maybe doing some video game stuff. I've been addicted to Raid Shadow Legends a lot. Why the hell haven't me and T-Biz gotten a legendary yet? I don't know, but we play it enough. I'm just saying. So, without further ado, without further ramblings, let's get on with the review. As you've noticed, I'm doing a little bit, something a little bit different. There is no intro outside of, the music and stuff. I decided to cut that out, and I'm also cutting out the final thoughts part, because I gotta tell you, taking pictures of figures is kind of a pain in the butt, especially when it takes like 3 hours. On top of that, I do all the recording, all the editing, all the photos, all the everything. So, yeah, if it takes like 3 hours to make a 10-20 minute video, that's kind of much. So, I'd rather do a little bit less and pump a little bit more out. I think you guys will agree with me on that. But without further ado, once again, on to the review. I will leave a time card in the description, as I said, for those of you who made it this far. It's about the 4.5 minute mark, so we did pretty good. Pretty good. So, moving on, Spyro. I'm going to tell you straight up, Spyro was a majority of my childhood. I played well, actually, Spyro 2. Excuse me. Ripto's Rage. I played that more times than I'd like to admit, but that's besides the point. It's a pretty good game, pretty easy game. You know, I'm not the best when it comes to video games. You know, typically if your eyes are screwed up, you're gonna suck at some things. So, yeah, this is more of a nostalgic thing for me. I don't intend to get like the Crash Bandicoot figures, but if they made more Spyro characters, I'd be down. They'd be freaking massive, but you know what? I like it that much. I'd buy some figures from it. One thing I'm going to mention right off the bat, though, I wish he came with sparks. Because if you see Spyro this way, that means you are one shot from death. Which kind of sucks. It's like, wow, he's going to die. The dragon, he's going to die. So, yeah, let's get a closer look at this fella. As you all may notice, my camera is adjusted too, so it's a little bit higher without being, you know, looking down at the figure I'm reviewing now. I found there's a little bit of a lip on my iPad case that allows it to sit upright. So I'm going to do that from now on. Hopefully it works out, and yeah. But if I have to say one thing about this figure, it is exactly what I would want out of a Spyro figure. Granted, the coloring might not be perfect. Perfect. Blah, 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 blah. But I really don't care. It's good enough for me. I mean, my eyes broke anyway, so, you know, colors look different to me. But, yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks like Spyro. It doesn't look like Puff the Magic Dragon or Weird Dragon. Was it Pete the Dragon from Disney? Or whatever that dragon was called. That big fat green one. Either way. Articulation on this guy. He's got a double ball peg in the head, which you can do all kinds of craziness with that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty useful, actually. You guys have to let me know if the camera's a little blurry, but I don't think it is. It's a little bit darker outside today, so I decided to do some videos, because I won't get the light of God blinding you as I try to do a review. His neck is on a hinge, but it doesn't move a whole lot. It moves a little bit. I mean, you can see it there, and it rotates, but you're not going to get a whole lot out of that. His torso is also on a double ball peg. You're not going to get a whole lot out of that either. So, FYI, it's there, but it's limited. His wings, they do rotate and hinge. I did have to work on the wings a little bit, but they move pretty easily now. The legs, both front and back, have the same articulation. They move out. They move forward a bit, back a bit. And then the feet are on ball joints. The front more so than the back. They're a little bit easier to move. I don't know if it's just because of stiffness or what, but here you have it. The tail is on a bit of a hinge here and a swivel. And that's pretty much the case with all of the joints. They are all rotation, hinge, swivel joints. And then this at the end is on, I believe, a double ball peg of sorts. It's kind of like this weird honeycomb tail, which I never noticed, actually. I always thought it was just smooth. But that's pretty much it. There's the underside. See his little yellow belly. But Spyro is pretty cool. I mean, it looks like Spyro. It doesn't move like Spyro. But that's because it's a toy, and toys don't move unless it's Pixar. And then they talk, move, and in some cases die. Yeah, that got dark. But nonetheless, I guess you guys want to see the scale, even though this figure's, what, half a year old? There he is next to Pizza Spidey, so he's a little small for Marvel Legends. Or a little big, I should say. He's a little small. Yeah, he's shorter, but he's massive. I guess if you wanted to, you could have Spidey. If I can grab him, I'm like 10 feet from figures here. You can have him sit on Spyro. I cannot believe I nailed that quick. There you go. Excelsior! Yeah. But yeah, he makes for a good mount. So yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It looks like Spyro. I guess moves like Spyro. My only real gripe is that it didn't come with sparks, because this basically means Spyro's about to die, and that kind of sucks. But I guess the only other thing I would ask for is a little bit more movement out of his neck down here, because he does the whole charging thing in the games. Excuse me, and it would have been nice to get him in some charging poses, although I don't think his body would be able to support the weight of his giant head, because he is kind of Funko Pop chibi proportioned here. His head's much bigger than it would normally be if he was well, I can't say normal dragon, because there really isn't one. But you know what I mean. It's out of proportion. Maybe some alternate heads that have a fire effect or something coming out of them. Just a little bit more. But to be honest with you, I think he's worth the, $20-$25 price tag. He's a hefty figure, that's for sure. And you can do some fun stuff with him. I plan on hopefully getting the Super 7 Ren and Stimpy figures, and maybe doing some goofy stuff with those, because they're about in scale with this guy. So there'll be some shenanigans to be had here with those, anyways. But yeah, I would give this figure a full-hearted recommend. And with that being said, hope you enjoyed this review, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.